Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Mikey Bustos bringing you another video. How's everybody doing out there? Um, this video is another law of attraction video because I'm just on an LOA wave right now, and I really wanted to do a video on uh, this topic because when it came to mind, I all of a sudden got goosebumps. I can read energy, and um, something was just pushing me to do a video on this. So I feel like it's going to help a lot of you guys out there. This video is basically a video about energy being fed to you. I really pay attention to the things that I take in, in with my senses, into my mind. For one thing, I don't watch TV so much. Um, and I particularly don't watch the news, only because the news tends to have um, a negative bias. Canadian news isn't so bad. Like Toronto news is amazing because they kind of manage to find a little bit of a good balance between good news and bad news. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to be informed, right? Everyone needs to be informed with world issues, right? But you don't have to be bombarded by it, you know. I kind of know what's going on in the world through YouTube, but I don't like to watch negative things. I don't like watching even movies that I know are fake, um, where there's a lot of violence. I don't like watching that. Like really, really scary horror movies, like even things like Saw, or I've never watched any Saw series. Paranormal Activity, I've only watched part one, and I'm not gonna watch any other sequel. Things like that. I really kind of watch the things that I take into my mind because I know that my mind will absorb that energy, and I'll just simply attract it. In my last video, I was talking about the subconscious mind. When you start watching all of this bad news, people dying, people being raped, people being chopped up, people being shot, eventually your subconscious starts to believe that's what reality is, and then you start attracting it. So that's actually pretty dangerous. Um, Same thing, I did a video on stealing people's thoughts. I'll deliberately try to align myself with those who are positive, um, and those who, like to talk about good stuff, those who are, just generally have a positive alignment in life, because you absorb that. If you hang around people who are always complaining, and, blaming and just always angry and resentful, you're going to absorb that energy, and that's going to go into you, and it's going to go into, what you're attracting into your own life. And so yeah, I for a bit, for example, the last time I was on like a negative uh, energy intake was, I recently became intrigued with The View. Watching it on YouTube. And I never watched TV, but there was this one time when, what's her face? Hasselbeck, the blonde, really like old fashioned, uh, sort of, I guess, like uh, pro Bush American, was on this standoff with Rosie O'Donnell, and every show they were like fighting all the time about just random things, mostly about war and politics. And I became so intrigued with this battle, and they would fight. Of course, I was for Rosie O'Donnell because to me her argument sounded more sound than Hasselbeck. But I became intrigued with it, and then all of a sudden, about after a week of just constantly watching these videos of them two fighting, I began to notice that I started to fight with other people, like in my life, friends online. I would suddenly have arguments with them. People I worked with, like on my team, we would have just kind of heated debates and arguments. And then I'm like, where's all of this negative energy coming from? And I realized it was from watching the Hasselbeck and Rosie O'Donnell going at it. So when you start to realize that what you take in really affects what you attract into your life, you start to want to filter things you watch, and people you hang out with. If you ever have to deal with people who are negative, I've lived with some negative people in the past. Um, Put on some armor. You have to arm yourself with everything you've got to not attract whatever it is they're projecting out. Really, like go to another room, go do something, get out of there quick because you don't want to take in the energy that they're emitting. Now, another topic on energy and absorbing energy is what they call a vision board. Now, what's a vision board? A vision board is essentially a board, and the conventional way to create a vision board is to cut out pictures of things that you want to attract. So if you want to attract a big mansion, look for a picture of a mansion, cut it out, stick it on there. If you want to attract more money, um, you know, pictures that remind you of money. If you want to attract, say, a great vacation, cut out pictures of your destination spot that you'd like to go to. Things like attract a lover. You'll cut out pictures of yourself and maybe someone who you feel is an ideal lover, stick it on the vision board. Attract perhaps a pregnancy. You can cut out pictures of babies and stick them on your vision board. Anything really that you want. And what the vision board does is it allows you to visualize these images and essentially absorb that energy. And some people find this whole energy thing just a bunch of BS. They're like, how is there energy in a picture? It's just made of paper. Well, if you watch my original Law of Attraction 101 video, you'll see a link that I refer people to on the crystallization of water and how placing certain tags or saying even certain words, positive words, can cause the crystals to look beautiful, and how the pasting of negative words like devil or hate, anger, war cause the crystals to grow ugly. And that was really a breakthrough in quantum science because um, it's just really amazing how certain thoughts and ideas and energies, which can be stored in a word or in a piece of paper, or how it can affect the physical world. And so, when you have a vision board, not only does visualization help you to attract it to your life, but the energy that is stored in those pictures. A picture of a house has the stored energy of a house. A picture of a Mercedes Benz has that stored essence energy of a Mercedes Benz, even if it's not a Mercedes Benz, even if it's just a picture. Even the word Mercedes Benz, if you have it somewhere and you're always seeing it, you're absorbing that energy, and it actually helps you attract it into your experience. Why do you think, for those of you who have had experience with or have consulted or know someone who's consulted a long distance healer, for those who are into healing long distance, you simply only need to say the person's name or send them a picture of the person who's sick, and then the healer can do his or her thing or whatever to heal that person. And that's because in just a name, a word spoken, or a picture, an image, the essence of that person is there, you know. And one book that I read actually kind of explains why that is in a theory. And for those of you who are interested, be sure to go out there and buy a book called Science and the Akashic Field by Laszlo, and read that. Read up on that, on how information is stored in the ether. For me, my cousin recently referred me to an article about vision boards, and he recently became very enthused about creating a vision board. And I never really got around to creating my own vision board, but see this behind me? Here's a story. One day, this is earlier this year, actually, before my YouTube channel went viral, and I'm going to go check right now when I uploaded that video. Um, it was suggested to me that in my videos, my wall was pretty bare, right? And I'm going through here now to check the date. Was pretty bare, and so it was suggested to me to fill it with stuff, and I thought, hey, that's a great idea. So on February the 7th of this year, 2011, I just checked the video. Oh, and click here if you want to watch it. I decided to put up my fan mail because I get lots of fan. I was getting like quite a bit of fan mail, um, at the time because of my singing career. So I decided to post it all up there, and it came out to 4 layers. See that whole, all the white there? That's 4 layers of 4 pages of just tons of emails and fan mail that I was getting that I just decided to print out and put behind me. Just it would be my new fan wall. Okay, so get this. Every morning, every night, every time I was in my room, I was around it. Every time I woke up, every time I went to bed, the fan mail was there. On the 25th of February, which is about 2 weeks later, um, my channel went viral. And just I uploaded the Filipino tutorial accent video, which I had no idea was going to do so well, and my fan base exploded, like literally. Like if this was my fan base before, now it's like, and I attribute it to this fan wall because that is kind of like my vision board. All that fan mail, and had the energy of people who admired my work and loved what I did. And so being around it, I was absorbing it, right? And I feel it attracted to me this whole viral YouTube phenomenon that just kind of like picked my career and up and just opened doors for me. So so I decided to continue with this fan wall. So every time I get fan mail now, it's up there. I'm so grateful for it. And I know that the energy you guys put into making some of that stuff, into writing the notes, into sending it, it's all stored in there, in each one of those items. It's all stored there, and I choose to surround myself with that energy, and it helps me attract more of it. Of course, this also applies to what you wear, and fashion and what you put on your body. For example, uh, if you notice my earrings, they're they're butterflies. Pretty girly, I know. No, but I'm an insect freak. I saw them. I'm like, you know what? To me, butterflies represent freedom, and they represent beauty. So I'm gonna put that on my body. That's a good energy that I want to absorb into myself. As well, for those of you who have tattoos, what you put on your body matters. If words can affect the single speck of water to cause it to turn into a beautiful crystal, our bodies being over 75% water, of course it's going to affect our bodies as well. So what you put on your body really matters. Both my tattoos say truth. For those of you who have positive things on your body, that's really, really good, and the energy and essence of that word or image or whatever, is going to soak into your being, really, and you attract um, things associated to that. For me, I find I continually attract the truth and new information, um, you know, new science, new ways of thinking. And I attribute it really to my tattoos, which are kind of like my body vision board. The music you listen to even matters, because there's an essence, there's information stored in all those sounds, in the lyrics, in the person who wrote the music. There's information and essences there that you would absorb, right? So I find that when I write and sing songs about sad matters and like hurt and pain, law of attraction makes sure that it shows up in my experience soon after. And if you listen to a lot of my music, it's all for the most part positive. Um, and you know, I do have some negative songs, but for the most part, they are positive and uplifting. And I find that they've helped me advance on all levels of life and have helped my fans as well. So yeah, basically that is how positive energy and law of attraction works. Surround yourself with the energy and essence of that which you want, and I guess that's really the whole um, premise of this entire video. And be sure not to surround yourself and not to take in and absorb energies that you don't want. This is Mikey Bustos signing out. Hope this helps you guys. Bye.